Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. Happy awesome Saturday to you. It is indeed awesome Saturday. This is the Sabbath. This is the day when we hang out with awesome people. We do awesome things. We eat awesome food. We be in awesome places. And ultimately, we live awesome lives. This is the day that we stop doing and we start being. When we give ourselves a day of rest, one single day through the week, where we can really just be ourselves and not be so concerned about the future or the past, but rather live in this present moment. So, happy awesome Saturday. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you here, as well as the other folks who are watching but have not yet commented. It's wonderful to be here. The topic today that we're going to talk about is effective evangelism. And what I mean by that is, how do we share our beliefs? And also, I want to talk about how the way that evangelism is presented in the United States, and particularly through Protestant Christianity, which is the dominant religious force in the United States, is flawed and sets everybody up for failure. So, first of all, let's talk about like what is evangelism. Evangelism isn't about debates. It's not about lecturing. It's not about logic. Evangelism is about transferring belief. It's about it's about living a belief and then having other people be interested enough in what we're living in order to choose to adopt that belief for themselves. And so we can think about our lives like, we are a light. We are a light in the world. And so as we go down a path in this world, we are illuminating that path so that we don't stumble. But we also are illuminating the path for anybody else who is traveling along with us, anybody else who is in our area. And so, the fact is that as we are illuminating the path forward, evangelism is inviting other people to partake. And so I seem to think that hopefully hopefully nothing bad happened there. But so beliefs are not necessarily confined to what we think about religion. Beliefs also could be really any thought that we repeat over and over, because that's the nature of belief. A belief is any thought that we think over and over and over again. And the beliefs that we have, oftentimes the unprovable beliefs, absolutely shape our lives. So beliefs are particularly potent when they tackle life's really big questions. In particular, and as it refers to religion, what happens after we die? And the beliefs that we have about this stuff are oftentimes beliefs that adults have put into our heads when we were children, and that we've accepted without rethinking from a very early age because of fear, because we recognize that, or we are told that if we don't believe a certain thing about life and death, then bad things are going to happen to us after we die. And so therefore we never rethink that belief. We adopt that belief because authority figures in our lives tell us to adopt that belief, but then we never revisit that belief. And this is one of the biggest problems with traditional evangelism, is that we never revisit that belief. So in the West, as I mentioned before, evangelism is very closely tied with Protestant Christianity. And it's so closely tied with Protestant Christianity that the term evangelical is a pejorative in certain circles. People who don't believe in Protestant Christianity will refer to Protestant Christians as evangelicals, and that's not a nice thing to say in their world. It has literally become a slur. But the reason that it's become a slur is because of the way that evangelism is oftentimes approached, which is that evangelists try to argue their points. Evangelists try to use logic in order to prove the unprovable, which backfires tremendously. Because what happens is that unbelievers poke holes in the arguments right away, and then believers are caught in a conundrum. Believers can either experience some cognitive dissonance and realize that the deeply held beliefs that they have are not provable, or can avoid the conversations completely, which is sort of going against the religious beliefs, and brings with it its own basket of guilt for not performing the religion. And so, the fact is that evangelism, as it is often practiced, is a conversation where there's two losers. The person that's being evangelized to loses because because they're in a conversation that they don't want to be in with somebody who doesn't have a well-formed belief. And then the person who is initiating the conversation has to either admit that their belief is not well formed, or just avoid the conversation entirely and then not be an evangelist, and then be practicing their religion poorly. So the fact is that words and logic don't shift deeply held beliefs. They don't cause people who already believe something to believe something new. In fact, fear is only good for establishing beliefs. Fear is never good for changing beliefs. As a very common criticism of religion, and not just Protestant Christianity, but all religions. A very common criticism is that it uses fear on impressionable people, on children, in order to get them to believe something, and then the children are never invited to question that belief, and so then live their lives in fear. So I want to talk about a new approach to evangelism, a more effective approach to evangelism. And this is not just evangelism about religious beliefs, but evangelism about anything that we hold dear. We don't have to just evangelize about what we believe about life and death. We can evangelize about what our favorite color is. We can evangelize about any idea that we have that has a benefit in our lives. And instead of arguing for the idea, we need to just focus on living a life that clearly shows the benefits of our beliefs. Because our lives are like a walking billboard, and our actions speak louder than any sermon that we could ever preach, than any argument that we could ever make to anybody. The character, the quality of our lives, the way that we live, the peace that we experience is something that nobody that no argument could ever hold a candle up to. And the thing about beliefs is that our beliefs shape our perceptions. Whatever it is that we believe, our deepest held beliefs, whether they be about life or death, or whether they be about our favorite color, these beliefs enhance and influence our lives in untold ways. They enrich our lives. When we have strong beliefs and meaningful beliefs, then these beliefs they help us to radiate health and joy and success, and these qualities draw people in naturally. Instead of trying to argue with people to change their mind, we simply live in a way that other people want to be like us, and then their minds are changed automatically. It's an organic process. It's not a process that we're forcing into being. It's a process that we're allowing into being. And so people are not swayed by fear or by debates look on your Facebook news feed for proof of this. Right now, there are so many political debates raging on Facebook, and nobody's minds are being changed. Nobody's. And yet people continue to do these debates. They continue to throw logic, or what they think of as being logic, into the, behind the ideas that they hold. But the folks who hold opposite ideas are not being convinced, and are unconvincible, are unwilling to be convinced, because they have their own logic and their own ideas. But in the end, the ideas that convince me are the ones that are espoused by people who are living a life that I am interested in living. Not the people who have adopted an idea that is opposite or contrary to my own, but the people who have peace and joy in their lives, the people who have a result that I desire, a result that I want. These are the people whose ideas I'm interested in listening to. These are the people for whom I am willing to change my deeply held beliefs, because I recognize that their deeply held beliefs are getting them a better result. And so when people see real and immediate benefits in their own lives, and in the lives of the people who practice other beliefs that are contrary to the ones that they currently hold, then they are more willing to change their mind. And so when we are living our lives and we are having a wonderful life, other people are going to want to join in on that. So how do we evangelize through our lives? If we can't evangelize through arguments, how do we evangelize through our lives? And the first step is to be authentic about it, to show genuine care, and to share our experiences openly, and to share the beliefs that underlie our experiences, and to allow our lives ourselves to be the story that other people learn from. I've very rarely learned from people who are trying to lecture me, but I learn all the time from people who are just living their lives and getting results that I'm like, wait, if I was in that situation, that's the result that I would want. And look at the result that they got. And maybe the next time I find myself in that situation, I can get the result that they got that I want, instead of the result that I have been getting, which I don't want. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to engage in evangelism through our actions. So instead of trying to win debates, be they in person or more regularly nowadays on the internet, we have to just focus on how our beliefs improve our day-to-day life. So maybe it's because it allows us to express more kindness or creativity, or maybe it's because it helps us to be resilient. But those qualities are our testament. The quality of our life is our testament, not the quality of our arguments. And the third way of doing this is to be subtle about it. Evangelism is best done through subtlety, through a very gentle testimony. Once again, going into pejoratives, and once again going back to Protestant Christianity, there are lots of pejoratives about Protestant Christians, but a Bible thumper is one of them that's been around for a long time. And what is Bible thumping except pointing at the thing that we hold dear and saying, "Oh, this is this is the truth because I believe it, and you have to believe it because I believe it." And of course, these arguments are completely not convincing at all. But when we share insights in the context of our own journey, rather than trying to hard sell somebody beliefs that they didn't grow up with, then it helps to transform the world through effective evangelism. So we testify through our lives. We don't testify through our arguments. We testify through the quality of our lives, and we are all called to testify, not to force people to convert through logic or fear, but to live a life that is so remarkable that other people naturally want to know what the secret is. So let's remember that the most persuasive arguments are the ones that are written on our daily actions, and that our lives are our sermon. And as we live in accordance with our most deeply held beliefs, which again are just things that we think over and over and over again, we can watch as other people are drawn to the brightness of our path. So evangelism itself is not the process of convincing through force. It is the process of inviting through actions. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here and attending the Awesome Saturday service. It is indeed Awesome Saturday. I'm going to go hang out with more awesome people, but for now, it's been fun to hang out with you awesome people. So thanks so much for being here. Again, Chris for leaving a comment, and to everybody else who's watching but has not yet left a comment, thanks so much for being here on the service today. I'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m. with more of the Wake Up Call with Maui Paul. But until then, this is your daily reminder that you are an awesome person. And so let us celebrate your inherent value and worth. The fact is that you are here for a reason, that I am here for a reason, and that each and every one of us, each and every one of us exists on this planet to do amazing things. So let's have some fun today. Let's hang out with awesome people, eat awesome food, be in awesome places, and just realize that we are worthy and deserving simply because we are here now. I love you. I appreciate you. I care about you. I think that you are amazing, and I will talk to you on Monday at 9 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise and happy, awesome Saturday.